for reference. So we are, it's our second lesson for class 12. First one we have already done, that is the last lesson, which we did first. Now this is Lost Spring. The title is a metaphor. Spring here stands for childhood. The spring season is the best season of the year. Flowers, singing of birds, and quite warm, and at the same time you have got an AC type climate. Just like that, the spring season of your life, our lives, for example, is childhood. You ask for anything, you will get. You are loved. You are the VIP of that house, and you are protected. You are taken care of. You enjoy a lot of life. There is no responsibility. Enjoying without responsibility, and you are given special food, special attention, and so on. So that is the spring season. When you say lost spring, here means the lost childhood. That is the stolen childhood, the childhood fate of many people, many children, orphans, for example. People who have been abandoned, children who have been abandoned by their parents, children who are thrown out of their homes by their parents, children who have to run away from their house for many reasons. All those people, we can say, all those children, we can say, they have lost their childhood. If you are enjoying the spring of your childhood, that means you are taken care of, you are looked after, you are taken to school, properly dressed and properly fed, you are given all kinds of toys that you want, there are people to look after you, to answer your demands, to fulfill your demands and so on. There are many thousands of them, street children we can see moving around, scavenging, or then us. In the word used here is scrounging the heaps of garbages. You can say garbage dumps, not heaps of garbage dumps. Means heaps of waste materials, heaps of refuse. These things they are scrounging to find out if there is anything for them to. For some people for eat, some people get, say, a few rupees or a few, say, a small amount of money and so on. So that is, about them we say, the lost spring. Understand? So the title is a very sad one, and at the same time, it tells you the realities of life, realities of life. All your disillusionment about childhood will disappear as soon as you read this lesson and study this lesson. And at the same time, you will become conscious of the fact that how lucky you people are sitting in this class. How you are protected, you are taken care of, you are looked after, your demands are met. So compare this. And when you compare this, what you should do is that you should make the best use of your childhood. Your childhood is spring of your life. The spring of your life not spoil. Instead, you should make the best use of that. This childhood should be used for that, not for destroying yourself. Just as some people, they are not concerned about their studies, they are not regular in the class and so. Then think of those people who actually they are yearning to go to school, but they are unable to go to school. So let's begin. So here, as usual, we are also, as I told you, we are using communicative method of teaching, and that is first all the important words will be explained, of course, and used in sentences to illustrate the meanings. Then we will go to the main highlights. Here the highlights are written here in the form of questions, and at the end of this class we will answer all these questions. Alright, so here it is. Encounter. Encounter means to meet somebody accidentally, by chance. Encounter. This morning I encountered my enemy on the street. I did not want to meet him, but he was there. So then I encountered him. Means I did not expect, this is not an appointed thing, but it's so happened, encounter. Some days we encounter many difficulties in life. We encounter many difficulties in life. We don't expect that, or we don't plan it. So it comes like that. So encounter. Scrounging. Scrounging is scavenging. Scavengers. So searching for, seeking for food or valuable things in dump heaps or garbage heaps. So you can see many street children scrounging for food or valuables in cities and even in villages. Scrounging. Set amongst. Set amongst means surrounded by. My house is set amongst coconut trees. My house is set amongst coconut trees. Your house may be set amongst coconut trees. Then distant memory. Memory that you have in your mind, you see, very dim memory. For example, all of us, you remember your great-grandfathers. Your great-grandfather is a distant memory in your mind. You might have a slight idea about your great-grandfather. Distant memory. Mutter means speak in a low voice. Very often when people are angry, they will mutter to themselves. So they cannot speak out those words. So they so that is mutter means. Glibly. Glibly means with thoughtless words. Speaking without thinking means not serious. See, when small children ask you to get the moon, you will glibly say, tomorrow I will get it. You know it's not possible. So glibly you will say, now today you go and study, tomorrow I will get it. So that's what it is. So glibly. Hollow. Hollow means empty. People make hollow promises, means empty promises. So they don't keep their promise. If you don't keep your promise, then that becomes empty or hollow promise. Embarrassed. Embarrassed means feel uneasy. My friend called me idiot, then I was embarrassed. I am not an idiot, he did not call me. I am just giving an example, don't worry. Then abound. Abound means plenty. You can see in this place coconut trees abound. Coconut trees abound means plenty. Plenty of coconut trees are there. Bleak world. Bleak world means a desert-like world, no hope. A world where you have no hope. Thousands of children, their life is a bleak world. They have no hope. What to do? They are very poor, utter poverty. They don't get anything to eat. They can't go to school. There's nobody to support them. That is, all those people who have lost their childhood, they are in a bleak world. All those people who have lost their spring means childhood, are in a bleak world. Do not match, means don't fit the size. The size is not a fitting size. Sometimes your feet may be 4 inches, but you are wearing shoes 6 inches. So there is a gap. That is, do not match. Small children you can see at home, they put on the shoes of their parents, then these shoes do not match their feet. Do not match. Shuffle means move. When some beggars you can see shuffling along the road. Means moving their feet in dragging their feet. That is shuffling. One thing. Second is just moving. That also is shuffle means. Shuffling your cards in. Yes, perpetual state means forever. Very often many children, they live in a perpetual state of poverty. Those children who have lost their spring, they live in a perpetual perpetual state of poverty. Sahab Elam. So today's section is about that. This gentleman, this small boy, Sahab Elam. The meaning is that the Lord of the universe. So Sahab means Lord, A means of, and Alam means universe, Lord of universe. But there's nobody to look after him. That's his case. Now when we come to the main points, we can see the story of Sahab Elam, that is Lord of the universe, that is in this section deals with that. And you can see from questions you can understand what are we going to see. Why did Sahab and his family leave their native village in Dhaka? That means they are the uprooted people. Sahab and his family, they were in Dhaka, Bangladesh, but now they are in India. they have been uprooted or they have moved from there because of sheer poverty. They have nothing to eat or drink there. The nature was very cruel to them, and so they left. There were floods and heavy rains and storms, so they left and came here. Do you think that Sahab is sincere about going to school? How do you know that? Another point, another highlight today is that his sincerity to go to school. First point is that they left their home and came, and now they are here as migrants. Second point is that he has got great interest. He has a longing to attend a school, but he is unable to attend. And second part of that question he will answer later. Promises like mine abound in this bleak world common. Very simple, that's the third point. Everywhere you can see people are making promises, isn't it? Or they remain unfulfilled. Especially you can see the leaders, then the people who are in charge of great projects and so on. They make promises, but all those promises are empty. So the world becomes bleak for us. Then next point is the army of barefoot boys, he says. With what does the author compare the army of barefoot boys? Army of barefoot boys here means those street children who are scrounging heaps of garbage for something. Maybe it's put for some valuable, some coin, or even sometimes they think that they may get a very small piece of gold or something like that, thrown by chance, into this dump, into this garbage. So they are compared to, he says, what are they compared to? They are compared to birds that appear in the morning and then disappear by noon. And what aspects of stolen childhood do you see in this passage? All the aspects of stolen childhood. They have no food, they have no shelter, they have nobody to look after, they are not taken care of, they cannot go to school, they are unable to go to school because of poverty, and then they move around barefoot. If they get something, they leave. If they're not, if they get something, if they don't get anything, they won't eat. So hungry people they are just like birds who appear in the morning and then disappear today. So stolen. So entirely you can say, the whole thing you can see that A to Z, their life is miserable and very sad. And then lastly you can see, how does one explain a perpetual state of poverty? So a perpetual state of poverty, very often it happens like that. Suppose you are unable to, you have nothing to eat. If somebody asks you, why are you hungry? He said, I am fasting. I am fasting. So that is one way of explaining away your position, that is your sad position, that you are unable to, there are nothing to eat. That's one way of explaining it. Isn't it? Like that in this section you will see, why are you not wearing shoes? Then they are telling this author, the name of author is, we have seen Junng. So Junng, they tell her that it is a tradition here. We don't use chappals, we don't use shoes. That's our tradition is here. Once upon a time in my younger days, people would not wear shirts. See, when they go to school, they don't wear shirts. Because at that time it was the tradition. Or I can say, there are no shirts. Our people are very, very poor. So they could not buy shirts. So if somebody asks you, why are you not wearing shirts? Then we would say, oh, it is the tradition here. Understand? Like that you can explain away your problem. I think these are the main points today. That is, once again in your mind, they have left their village, Dhaka. They come here and they go. They don't go to school, but they go around scrounging heaps of garbage. Another is that their promises. Many people make promises to them, they don't keep. And next point is that the author compares these children like morning birds who disappear in at noon, and finally you find the childhood is stolen in all aspects, and you find also that they are explaining away their perpetual poverty by saying that why the question is asked, why are you not wearing chappals or shoes? So that is a tradition here. Understand? I think that this means you have got in your mind, you have it, you keep this, in the sense that, as I am reading this, in its pure form, as I always say, in communicative method of teaching, does not require the teacher to read out. The student should read out and then read and study and then answer these questions. Also make sentences with these expressions and words. That's what we have to do. But since this is a virtual class, I am just helping. Alright, let's begin. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. Now that is the answer to, or that is the subheading of this section against. That is the answer. Why are you scrounging? The answer given by Sahib-e-Alam, Lord of the universe, is that sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. Why do you do this? I ask. This is, the narrator is the author, Anish Jung. She is the author. She is, as I told you, she is a great writer. Her parents were writers. Now, already I think I have told you all these things. So, why do you do this? This means this scrounging the garbage heap. I ask Sahib, I encounter every morning. Encounter every morning, there is no appointment between, he has not taken an appointment or I have not taken an appointment. I mean, the meeting is not a fixed thing, but it so happens sometimes we meet. I encounter every morning scrounging for gold in the garbage dumps of my neighborhood. So every morning I see Sahib-e-Alam coming and then searching, ransacking the garbage dumps for something, some valuable. Sahib left his home long ago. Immediately the writer shifts now. Set amongst the green fields of Dhaka. His home is not even a distant memory. That means when he was a very small child, he left his native place and came here in this city. And there were many storms that swept away their fields and homes, his mother tells him. Sometimes he would ask his mother, why we have left our native place and come here? And she would say that our fields and homes were swept away by floods. There were floods. Nature was unkind to us. Therefore we left. That is why they left. And looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. So the change, now displacement, so to say. Now they are migrants here. They were once in Dhaka, but they came because of sheer poverty. That is a fact. I have nothing else to do. He mutters, looking at it. The first question is this now. Why do you do this? Then the answer comes now. In between, there is a brief account of who Sahib-e-Alam and who Sahib-e-Alam is and what is his background, why he has come here. I have nothing else to do. What can I do? And he mutters, looking away. Looking away. Why do you do? Why do you do this? I have nothing else to do. Like this. It's not looking in the eyes of the questioner who is asking this question is Anish Jung, that is the author. That's why I am looking for research. I have nothing else to do. Go to school? I say glibly. Glibly means thoughtless. It's impossible. Nobody can fulfill the desire of this boy to go to school. So go to school? I say glibly. Realizing immediately how hollow, empty the advice must sound. I cannot foot his bill, I cannot help him. There is no school around. And what I said is just glibly. Very often we say no. Certain many things we say glibly to our friends, isn't it? Like that is it. There is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go. A small boy says, it's nothing, no school here. If they build one here or in our village or in this city nearby, where I am staying. If there is a school, definitely I will go. If I start a school, will you come? I asked, half joking. Glibly, now it is joking. Yes, he says, smiling broadly. Smiling broadly, I will come. That's it, silent broadly. A few days later, I saw him running up to me. Is your school ready? Then she said, it takes longer to build a school. I said, embarrassed. Embarrassed means uneasy. Oh, I don't know how to explain that word, embarrassed. Embarrassed means uneasy. You feel, I told you, when my friend called me idiot, I was embarrassed. Uneasy and feeling some shame. So, embarrassed, I said, at having made a promise that was not meant. So when you make a promise that is not meant, that is a hollow promise. Then that is a glib talk. That is hollow and that is glib talk. You are unable. How can she may build a school in for 3 or 4 days time? But promises like this is not philosophy. They are insulting a philosophy, a piece of philosophy. But promises like mine abound plenty in many corners of this bleak world, desert-like world. After months of knowing him, I asked his name. He said, Sahab Allah. He answers. He does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the universe, he would have a hard time believing him. Unaware of what his name represents, he remains there. He roams the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. Comparison again. The question is the comparison and this is morning birds and disappear. So he does not know his name, the meaning of his name. See, the other day I told my friend's name is Ishmael. I asked him, he's my friend, very close friend. I asked him, grown up man. I asked him, do you know the meaning of your name? He said, I don't know. It's my name Ishmael. Then I told him, Ish means man. El means God. That means man of God. That's the man, huh? Is it? That is. So very often we take the meanings of our names, take the meanings for granted. We don't go in and I try to understand or try to find out what the meaning of our names is. Our names are. Then the meanings of the meaning of our names. The meaning of our name is. Understand? Then why he asked over the I said appear like birds and disappear. Over the months I have come to recognize each of them. There's an army of street children doing this work. Why aren't you wearing chapels? I asked to the street children. Not even why, they don't even get once in a day, one meal a day they don't get. To that she is asking, why can't you wear chapels? See, then he said, one of them said in a very interesting reply, my mother did not bring them from the shelf. He answers simply, oh, there are many there, but my mother did not bring them. And then another one said, even if she did, he will throw them off. Adds another, who is wearing shoes that do not match. That is, his probably he might have picked it up from some garbage dump, and somebody else might have thrown it. Or maybe it's like, you can see now, in some days when you go to shops, you will get at reduced rate shirt and pants and so on, because they are seconds. There may be some defect, small defect. Like that, some rich man's son might have thrown it this, but it doesn't fit his feet, because his feet may be 4 inches, but this shoes may be 6 inches. So he cannot. And he said, meaning is that even if she did, she means mother of the child, even if my mother did not bring scissors, even if she did, he will throw them off. Adds another who is wearing shoes that do not match. It's not of size, not of his size. When I comment on it, he shuffles his feet and says nothing. Shuffles means he moves it. He hides it by moving his feet. I want shoes, says the third boy, who has never owned a pair never owned a pair all his life. So another person, I would like to get one, but no idea, never. So that is stolen childhood, you understand? No education, no food, no clothes, no proper clothes, no shoes. So this is stolen childhood. Traveling across the country, I have seen children walking barefoot in cities on village roads. I have seen children walking barefoot. It is not lack of money, but a tradition to stay barefoot is one explanation. So I told you about shirts. We could not wear shirts and go to school because there was purchasing power of our parents at that time was very, very, very low. That's why. And people will explain it like this, but this is not a tradition. In this part of this country, we don't wear shirts. That's one way of explaining away. Yes, it is not lack of money, but a tradition to stay barefoot is one explanation. You wonder if this is only an excuse to explain away a perpetual state of poverty. Perpetual state of poverty means remains forever, perpetually. So this is a state of poverty that will remain forever. And these such people are born poor, they grow up as poor, they die as poor. Stolen children. Very sad story. So when you read the story of Sahab Alam and the army of barefoot children who go around scrounging heaps of garbage heaps, see, in search of food maybe, in search of some valuable things, thrown away by rich people, in search of shoes or chappals that are not of their size, in search of something to eat, etc. What we must think of is our position. How lucky we are, how blessed we are, how well looked after you are, how well you are cared, how well you are, in certain cases, overprotected. So that's what you should think of. And then make the best use of your spring that you have been blessed with. Have a nice time, enjoy your life.